Oh, hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. In this episode, let's do something special and let's talk about Shimano, because in March 2021, Shimano is celebrating 100 years. It's a special anniversary for Shimano, and I thought it would be very nice to talk about some of the Shimano road bike group sets. So specifically, I'm going to be talking about Shimano 105 group set versus Shimano Ultegra versus Shimano Dura-Ace group set. So you know that Shimano is a Japan-based company. They produce a lot of bike components, but also Shimano produces a lot of components when it comes to fishing industry. And I will leave in the video description a beautiful centenary website from Shimano, where they are constantly slowly updating this website as it comes close to the March 2021, and they are showcasing their achievements in the last 100 years. I mean, Shimano began as a dream from Mr. Shimano, Shozaburo Shimano, which was a knife craftsman in Sakai City in Japan. So you see definitely from the beginning of Shimano, this craftsmanship and working with the metal was something really important. And today, when I think about Shimano, I always think about super quality products, precision, and this craftsmanship. So as I said, I will leave this centennial website in the video description, so you can go a bit more into the details and really see what Shimano has achieved in the last 100 years. But it is absolutely superb and impressive. So, as I was saying, let's talk about today about three Shimano road group sets. And I've chosen Shimano 105, Shimano Ultegra, and Shimano Dura-Ace because I consider them competitive race group sets. Of course, Shimano has other road group sets like Shimano Tiagra, Shimano Sora, but these are more, I would call them like recreational group sets for, recreational cyclists. So I will focus on these more kind of group sets for the competitive cyclists. And we're gonna go through these group sets to see some of the differences and what do you get for your basically hard-earned money. I won't mention here anything special about the prices of these group sets, because many times you can see huge deals on these group sets or certain components, and then it's not fair to speak now about the retail price when this thing can change hugely. But just keep in mind that going from Shimano 105 group set, that would be the cheapest option, then Shimano Ultegra would be more expensive, and Shimano Dura-Ace would be the most expensive road group set that you can get from Shimano. But before we start, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe and hit that little bell icon, because it's gonna help in growing the channel. And of course, if you are already a subscriber, then definitely thank you. So, we can kick off with explaining a bit about what does each group set contain inside, which are the key components of the group set. So you see, in each of these Shimano group sets, road bike group sets, you will of course have a shifter, brake lever. I'm talking about this together because I'll be talking about hydraulic disc brakes. So in these shifters, shifter and the brake lever are in one piece, so you have all the components for the shifting and also the braking cylinder, oil reservoir, everything is in this one shifter. So there's a shifter brake lever as one component of the group set. Then you're gonna of course have the front mech, you will have the crankset, you will have the bottom bracket, different types of bottom brackets. Also the rear mech will be a part of the group set. Cassette is a part of a group set, and the chain, of course. Then we're going to talk about hydraulic disc brake calipers. And as I said, I will specifically focus on the hydraulic disc brakes, disc brake rotors, and I will touch a little bit on the hubs from Shimano, front hub, rear hub, and I won't be talking anything about the wheels from Shimano today, but they have some excellent choice of wheels if you are in the market for a good wheel set. So these are the main components of each group set, and now we're gonna go through them and I'm gonna briefly explain what are the key differences. So if you are in the market for buying a whole group set, you want to upgrade some parts on your bike, it is possible to mix and match. So you can have, for example, Dura-Ace shifters, and then you can have front and rear mech from Shimano 105. You can have Shimano Ultegra chain, Shimano Ultegra cassette. So this mix and match is totally possible. It is cross compatible with the Shimano group sets. So we can kick off talking a little bit about the shifting and the braking lever. So let's start with the Shimano 105 group set, which is basically Shimano's R7000. And then we'll compare it with the Shimano Ultegra and Shimano Dura-Ace. So this is the Shimano's 105 hydraulic disc brake lever shifter, dual control. All these group sets, by the way, are 11-speed group sets for now. There's lots of talk that Shimano might introduce their 12-speed Dura-Ace group set soon, but we will see. If you look at the Shimano's 12-speed group sets in mountain biking, they already exist, so probably Shimano could trickle this down to the road. So this shifter, Shimano 105 shifter, it has an average weight of 610 grams, for example, and of course for the hydraulic disc brakes it will use the Shimano's mineral oil. So if you move a bit up the chain on the Shimano Ultegra level component R8000, you can immediately see that of course it's gonna cost more money, and there's gonna be few little pieces added. So for example, on the Shimano Ultegra shifter you will have the servo wave technology incorporated for the hydraulic disc brakes, and you will also have the reach adjustment available for this Shimano's Ultegra shifters. And also keep in mind that the weight of these shifters is now 554 grams for a pair. Now if we move to the Dura-Ace series, which is an absolute creme de la creme from Shimano, top of the line, the best stuff that Shimano makes, and you will see the Dura-Ace group sets being ridden by the professionals. Now if we look at this shifter, you will immediately notice that again you will have the servo wave action on this shifter, you will have a reach adjust on the shifter. Of course it's a dual control lever, and the weight for the pair is 538 grams. And of course again for the hydraulic disc brakes is going to be Shimano's mineral oil in this shifter. So you can see that going up in the price from Shimano 105 to Shimano Dura-Ace, you have went for example from 610 grams for a pair of Shimano 105 shifters all the way to 538 grams for a pair of Dura-Ace shifters. So this is very interesting. And also on the Shimano's 105 shifters, you don't have a reach adjustment like you have, for example, on the Ultegra or Dura-Ace, and you also don't have this servo wave action. So these are just small little differences between the shifters on the Shimano group set. Now we can talk a little bit about the front mech in each of these group sets. And you have two types of front mech with Shimano. You can have the kind of braced on mount, or you can have the clamp mount. I will focus a bit on the clamp mount because I think that majority of the bikes out there today you will have them with the clamp mount. So if we kick off again with the Shimano 105 front mech, which is of course for the 11-speed group set, this is their FDR7000 front mech. And you can have two colors to choose from. It's going to be silver and black. And for example, the average weight of this front mech for Shimano 105 group set is 111 grams. Of course, the comparable chain is going to be the 11-speed Shimano's chain, because this is for the 11-speed group set. And you see this front mech in the Shimano 105 group set can take the 46 to 53 tooth gearing. Now when we quickly look at the Shimano Ultegra level group set and the front mech, so we're gonna focus on the Shimano's Ultegra front mech, which is a clamp based mount. This is the R8000. Again, you will here have only one choice of the color, as I see. This is this black one, and this weight of the front mech is 106 grams, and so again a bit lighter than the Shimano 105 group set, and this one can also take the 46 to 53 tooth gearing. Now when we move to the Shimano Dura-Ace, which is top of the line from Shimano, and we look at the front mech, so this will be the Shimano's R9100, FDR 9100 front mech, and here you will see that the average weight is only 85 grams for this front mech. Also, I have to mention here that here the top gear tooth that is gonna accept is between 50 and 55. So you see, we went from the Shimano 105 front mech, which is R7000 series, which had a weight of 111 grams and could accept 46-53 tooth, and we went all the way to the Shimano Dura-Ace, which is only 85 grams in weight, and it can accept 50 to 55 tooth chainring. So again, this is what you are usually paying for your money. The more expensive group sets like Dura-Ace will be much lighter, and also they will be in certain cases using some more exotic materials for the group set. Now let's talk about the crankset. So first we'll start with the Shimano's 105 crankset, which is basically Shimano's FCR7000 crankset. It is a Holotech 2 technology from Shimano, and of course this is 2x11 group set, 11 speed group set, 2 chain rings. And this one again you can choose in 2 colors. There's a black one and there is a silver one when it comes to Shimano 105. So now, when we speak about average weight, I will focus on the, for example, 52-36 combination of chain rings, and this one will have a weight of 743 grams. Let's call it 743 grams. And there are different combinations of the chain rings you can use, so it's going to be 50-34, 52-36, and of course 53-39. So this is when it comes to the Shimano 105 crankset. If we move to the Shimano Ultegra, if we move to the Shimano Ultegra crankset, this is going to be the Shimano's FCR8000 crankset. It is again Shimano's Holotech 2 technology, 2x11, so two chain rings, 11 speed crankset. And here, if we again focus on the 52-36 combination, this is 681 grams. And possible combinations of the chain rings, again 50-34, 52-36, 53-39, and you have 46-36. In the Dura-Ace combination for the crankset, you have 2 options. One option is the Dura-Ace with the dual-sided power meter, excellent, and another one is a classical Dura-Ace crankset. So let's look at the classical Dura-Ace crankset, which is basically FCR 9100 crankset, and this is again with the Shimano's Holotech 2 technology for the 11 speed group set and the 2 chain rings. And now you see the weight of this crankset for the combination of 52-36 is only 624 grams, and there are multiple combinations. You can use 55-42, 54-42, 53, 39, 52, 36, and even 50, 34. So this one has the widest range of possible chain rings you can use on the Shimano Dura-Ace crankset. Of course, there are different crank arm legs with this crankset. So, and for the Shimano Dura-Ace crankset, the Q factor is 146 millimeters. So you see, again, we went from the Shimano's 105 crankset, which had 743 grams weight for the 52-36 combination. Then we went to the Ultegra, which had 680 grams weight, and then we went all the way to only 624 grams for the Dura-Ace crankset. So you see, again, more money you pay, the lighter components you are getting, and a bit more, in certain cases, some of the more exotic materials, and of course better craftsmanship, especially when it comes to the Shimano Dura-Ace Groupset. Now let's talk a little bit about the bottom brackets. And I will briefly mention here that you don't have a kind of officially Shimano's 105 bottom bracket. It immediately starts with the Shimano's Ultegra level bottom bracket. So Shimano's Ultegra press fit bottom bracket, BB72, 86.5 millimeters shell width. And also you will have the Shimano's Dura-Ace level bottom bracket, press fit bottom bracket, which is BB92, 86.5 millimeters shell width. I will just mention briefly here that when it comes to the Shimano Dura-Ace bottom bracket, average weight is 54 grams, and when you look at the Shimano's Ultegra level press fit bottom bracket, average weight is 69 grams. So again, a little bit of the weight savings when you move to the Shimano's Dura-Ace bottom bracket. Now let's talk about the rear mech. So when we speak about the rear mech, you will have two choices when it comes to Shimano 105 Groupset. There is a short cage rear mech, and there is a medium cage rear mech. On the Shimano's Ultegra Groupset, you will also have the choice between the short cage rear mech and the medium cage rear mech. Again, these are 11-speed Groupsets, but when you come to the Shimano Dura-Ace, you will only have the standard short cage rear mech on the Shimano Dura-Ace Groupset. So I think it's fair then to compare the short cage rear mechs, and the difference between the short cage and the medium cage is that, for example, if you go with the medium cage rear mech, you can accept the cassette all the way to, let me just check, it should be, yes, it should be all the way to 1134 cassette, for example, for the medium cage rear mech. When we talk about the short cage rear mech, it will accept, let me just double check with Shimano now, it will accept, correct, only 1130 maximum cassette. So if you need more options for climbing, then definitely you should go with the medium cage rear mech. So let's start with the Shimano 105 rear mech, which is basically their RDR 7000, and I will be looking at the short cage rear mech. So the average weight of this rear mech for Shimano 105 rear mech is 225 grams. As I said, this is for the 11-speed Groupset, and you can accept 1125, it is compatible with the cassette 1125 all the way to 1130 cassette. So just keep that in mind. So as I was saying, since all of these are 11-speed Groupsets, there's going to be a slight difference in the cassette you can accept between short cage and the medium cage. When we go to the Ultegra Groupset, oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the medium cage rear mech. We should focus on the short cage. So for the Ultegra group set, this is the RD R8000 rear mech. This one again covers from 1125 cassette all the way to 1130 cassette, and the total weight, average weight, is only 200 grams now. So again, you see that we are going lower in weight as you are going higher in the price. Now when we move to the Dura-Ace, as I said, R9100, this only comes in the short cage version, and you can here have all the average weight is 158 grams, 11 speed group set, and you can accept all the way from 1130 cassette, or you can play with the 1125 cassette, but just keep in mind that the maximum front difference should be 16 tooth. So again, we went from the Shimano's 105 rear mech, which was 225 grams, all the way to Dura-Ace rear mech, which was only 158 grams. And Dura-Ace rear mech, as I said, only comes in this short cage version, so 1130 cassette will be the biggest it can accept. But probably you will see on a bunch of professional bikes something like 1128, and sometimes when they climb some big mountains, then you'll see like 1130, because they have a lot of power to use to climb these steep mountains. Now let's focus a little bit on the cassettes, since we are speaking about the rear mechs. So when it comes to Shimano 105 group set, of course these are 11 speed cassettes, and here you will have a choice of the Shimano's HG 700 cassette or Shimano's R7000 cassette. I want to look at the classical R7000 cassette, and this for the Shimano 105 group set will cover a lot of range and a lot of different weights. So if we look at the classical cassette, let's say 1130 cassette, the average weight is 304 grams, and there are different possibilities, different combinations you can have this cassette in. So you can have it in 1128, you can have it in 1130, 1132, or 1225. So you see this 1225, they already have this 12 speed cassette, but it's only 12 to 25, and of course it is comparable with the Shimano's HG 11 speed chain. Now when we look at the Shimano's Ultegra level cassettes, again you will have the R8000 and you will have the HG 800 cassette, 11 speed cassette, which can go all the way to 1134. So this is what I was saying, if you want to use the medium cage rear mech, then you can go 1134 cassette. But let's look at the classical R8000 cassette, Shimano Ultegra cassette. So with this one, you will have in the 1130 version, this is only 269 grams, and there are different combinations you can have it. You can have it in 1125, 1128, 1130, 1132, and then you have the combinations with 1225 and 1428. Of course, this is again comparable with the 11 speed chains from Shimano, HG EV11 or HG X11. So you see that the weight is dropping again as we move higher through the group sets, and specifically for the Shimano Dura-Ace cassette, you'll have only one choice, which is the Dura-Ace CSR 9100 cassette, and this is again a special cassette in the sense that there's lots of exotic materials used here. For example, there's a carbon fiber and alloy spider, and also titanium sprockets. So that's what you are paying when you go higher up in the range. And for example, for this 1130 cassette, the weight is only 211 grams, and this cassette comes in combinations of 1125, 1128, 1130, and then you have two combinations with 12 sprockets. So you see the highest you can go here, 1130 cassette, and again comparable with 11-speed chains from Shimano. So we went from the 105 cassette, which was 304 grams for 1130 cassette, and we went all the way to Dura-Ace cassette with titanium sprockets, which has 211 grams of average weight for 1130 cassette. So you see how the weight drops drastically the higher you go up in the range. When it comes to the chain selection, I will just briefly mention that with Shimano 105 group set, you have two choices. That's the Shimano's HG601 chain, 11-speed chain, and HG600, again 11-speed chain. So briefly about the chains, it's going to be very similar, that you can drop a bit of weight with these chains. So for example, on the Shimano 105 level chain, depending on the number of links, but this is an average weight of 257 grams with their Seal Tech technology. If we look at the Shimano's Ultegra level chain, this is going to be HG701 chain. And this chain again with the Seal Tech technology from Shimano with 257 grams of weight. And then if you move to the top level Shimano Dura-Ace chain, HG901 chain, again 11-speed compatible with the Groupsets. Now you're gonna have again Shimano Seal Tech technology, but this one is 247 grams. And I mean, chains are always a good opportunity to upgrade, and they are not so expensive, so definitely, for example, Dura-Ace chain would be a good choice. So we went, for example, from Shimano 105 level chain at 257 grams all the way to Shimano Dura-Ace chain 247 grams with the Seal Tech technology, hollow pins. So again, Dura-Ace, of course, top choice, creme de la creme. Now, as I was saying, I want to talk about a little bit about the hydraulic disc brakes, because all of these three group sets come with hydraulic disc brakes. So Shimano 105 group set is basically BR 7070 hydraulic disc brake calipers to be precise. Then we have the Shimano's Ultegra level BR 8070, and ultimately you will have the Shimano's Dura-Ace level hydraulic disc brakes BR 9170. And each of these disc brake calipers, of course, will come with their dedicated disc brake rotors. For example, for the Shimano 105 group set, you will have their RT70 rotors. For the Shimano Ultegra group set, you will have their famous RT800 braking rotors with the ice stack or ice freezer technology, as they call them now. And for the Dura-Ace group set, you will have superb RT900 braking rotors. So I can briefly just mention here a few details about the brake calipers and the braking rotors, and you will see some similarity with the previous components. So if we look at the Shimano's 105 hydraulic disc brake calipers, I'm just going to open the rear caliper, because I want to show you again, you have a choice between two colors, black and silver. And for example, the average weight is 138 grams per piece. And quickly, if we jump immediately to the Dura-Ace rear brake hydraulic disc brake calipers, you can see that they are only 123 grams per piece. Hydraulic disc brakes, flat mount ready, of course, for the, if you want, center lock disc brakes, and all of them are going to be using the Shimano's mineral oil. And one thing that's interesting, of course, you have different pad standards and different pad recommendations for each of these hydraulic disc brakes, but usually with Shimano you have their resin pads, different codes here. You can check if you want to replace these pads, what would be the recommended resin pads from Shimano. And also just keep in mind always that Shimano uses their Shimano mineral oil, because some other manufacturers might be using some different types of dot braking oil. The thing that I wanted to talk a little bit more is the disc brake rotors, because we can quickly see some differences here. For the Shimano 105 group set, these are the RT70 braking rotors, Ice-Tech technology, and for these braking rotors, of course, they are center lock braking rotors, and you can have them from the 203 millimeters diameter all the way down to 140 millimeter diameters. Usually you will see 160 millimeter diameter rotors on the road bikes, and for example this 160 millimeter rotor will have 133 grams of average weight in the Shimano 105 braking rotors. When we move to the Shimano's Ultegra braking rotors, these are again the center lock braking rotors with the Ice-Tech Ice Frieza technology, and these ones come in the only two sizes, 140 millimeters or 160 millimeters, and for 160 millimeters you see the weight is 128 grams. And now if you move to the Dura-Ace braking rotors, the famous RT900 braking rotors, again center lock disc braking rotors, Ice Technologies Frieza, and these ones again only come in two flavors, 140 millimeters and 160 millimeters, and 160 millimeters only has 117 grams of weight. So we went from the 133 grams of weight all the way down to 117 grams of weight when it comes to the Dura-Ace braking rotors with Ice Frieza technology. So this is very interesting to notice with the braking rotors. And as I was mentioning, if you are interested in replacing the hubs on your bike, Shimano has to offer some superb hubs. I really like them. So you will have the choice from the Shimano 105 level hubs, both front and rear hub from Shimano. Then of course you will have the Shimano's Ultegra kind of level hubs, although they call them RS770 hubs. And then you will have, when it comes to the Shimano Dura-Ace group set, you won't have, as I'm seeing now on the Shimano's website, they don't offer here specifically dedicated Shimano Dura-Ace hubs. So it seems to me that for these ones, at least they are not offered on the website, you will have to get yourself a complete wheel set to get them with the Shimano Dura-Ace hubs. I don't know why I don't see them here on the website. Maybe Shimano just didn't update it with the Shimano Dura-Ace hubs. But definitely if you are in the market for a good quality hubs, definitely check some of the Shimano's some of the Shimano's offerings when it comes to the hubs, front and back hubs. And as I was saying, also Shimano offers you different wheel sets, and you will have everything from the Shimano 105 level wheel sets, Shimano Ultegra level wheel sets, and ultimately you can go with the Shimano Dura-Ace level wheel sets. Again, superb choices if you are looking for a quality wheel set. So this was a bit a longer video today, but I hope you learned a lot about certain Shimano group sets, and it will definitely help you in choosing your group set in the future. So this is going to be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing, and if you do, please do subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you're always notified when I make a new video. And as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Pura Vida.